Imagine a place where time has no meaning. A place older than memory, older than language, perhaps older than everything we call history. A place that does not speak but sees, that does not live as we understand it, but may outlive us all. A continent, white, silent, unreachable, and yet full of questions. Antarctica. Antarctica is more than a frozen edge of the world. It is a continent of extremes and silence. 99% of its surface is covered in ice. Some layers are thicker than the Alps at all. And beneath that ice, hidden, lakes, fossils, structures, perhaps even the traces of a forgotten world. In this documentary, we will explore what has been found on this continent, the stories passed down through centuries, and how they might connect to what lies beneath the ice today. We will follow the myths, examine the discoveries never meant to be public, and dive into what makes Antarctica the most mysterious and only forbidden continent on Earth. You will hear the legends, see the clues, and decide for yourself what Antarctica is really hiding. Scientists have extracted ice cores from the depths of the glacier, narrow cylinders of compressed ice, each one a silent witness from ages beyond imagination. Some of these cores are more than 1 million years old. They contain air from a time before humanity even existed. But some believe not every bubble tells the truth. Some conceal what lies beneath. Beneath the ice are lakes dark, isolated, untouched by light or life. The largest, Lake Vostok, sealed for 15 million years. And yet, inside, microbes, enzymes, life we cannot categorize here, perhaps dare not. What if something more than microbes survived down there? Something with thought, with purpose, with memory? There is evidence of ancient forests beneath the ice, of warm climate tenno so long ago, of tropical plants, of fossils, perhaps even traces of something we would once have called a civilization. Was it wiped out? Or hidden? Antarctica is not empty. It is sealed. And perhaps it's waiting for us to ask the right question. The ice groans like a living thing. Beneath your feet, a thickness greater than most mountain ranges stretches endlessly downward, pressing down on secrets the world has forgotten. For decades, strange formations have been detected beneath the Antarctic ice. Satellite imagery, radar scans, and seismographic readings have revealed vast, hollow spacesum, so large they rival the size of entire cities. One such void, discovered in 2019, is estimated to be the size of Manhattan and still growing. What could exist in such a space cut off from the world for millions of years? Official reports speak of subglacial erosion, of shifting terrain and meltwater networks. But some researchers quietly, carefully suggest something else. That these are not natural voids, but chambers. Ancient, structured, deliberate. Some speculate they are the ruins of a buried civilization, one that flourished in a forgotten epoch before the last ice age swallowed it whole. Others go further. What if these aren't ruins of human hands, but something entirely different? In 1995, a private research team conducting LiDAR surveys over East Antarctica picked up symmetrical patterns deep below the surface, repeating rectangles, arcs, corridors. The results were quietly shelved. The team dissolved. Some members went silent. Still, the anomalies remain. Imagine walking through these halls, ice-coated, silent, pitch black. Symbols lining the walls in a language no living mind can read. Frozen statuesaur. Are they statues? Facing each other across vast, dark chambers, the air unmoving, the silence deeper than death. Over time, rumors have bled into classified circles. In one leaked document, an unnamed intelligence source referred to structures inconsistent with any known ancient culture, exhibiting properties of magnetic shielding and non-Euclidean alignment. The deeper we scan, the stranger things become. Massive heat signatures beneath the coldest regions, odd electromagnetic disturbances in areas where no machinery operates, equipment interference, GPS dropouts, memory loss among surveyors, strange dreams reported by those stationed near the anomaly zones. Are these signs of natural phenomena something else? Some even connect these mysteries to the so-called Forbidden Sector, a restricted zone near the Eastern Plateau where military flyovers are strictly prohibited. The reason? Officially, environmental protection. But what are they protecting? If there are cities under the ice, they are not empty. They are dormant, and they are waiting. In the bitter cold of 1946, a massive American military expedition set sail for the southernmost continent. Its name was Operation High Jump. Officially, it was a training exercise. A scientific mission to study the effects of extreme cold on equipment and personnel. But unofficially, the purpose of this mission may have been far stranger. Admiral Richard E. Byrd, a decorated naval officer and polar explorer, was placed in command. He had already earned fame from previous expeditions to both poles, but this time was different. This time, something happened that would never be fully explained. Operation High Jump involved over 700 men, 13 ships, and multiple aircraft. It was, and remains, one of the largest expeditions ever launched to Antarctica. But less than 2 months into what was supposed to be a 6-month operation, the mission was suddenly aborted. Why? There are those who claim the mission encountered resistance. Whispers emerged of fast-moving craft, silver discs flying silently through the icy skies, reports of aircraft being disabled mid-air, radar interference, pilots returning shaken, their stories censored. Some point to an interview Admiral Byrd gave shortly after the mission ended. In it, he warned of a new potential enemy with the ability to fly from pole to pole at incredible speeds. His words were vague, but unsettling. Were these enemies human, or something else? Conspiracy theorists believe Operation High Jump discovered something buried in the ice, something not meant to be found. A base, an ancient technology, or perhaps a presence that had been sleeping, undisturbed, for millennia. Declassified documents are incomplete. Pages are missing. Entire logs redacted. Pilots who flew missions over the forbidden zones were reassigned. Some were never heard from again. In the years that followed, Antarctica became more restricted. International treaties limited access. Research bases were built, but their locations were specific, almost curated. No-fly zones were expanded. Surveillance increased. Some believe Admiral Byrd was silenced, that he saw something he wasn't supposed to, that the Antarctic continent is more than just frozen rock, but a gate, a threshold to something beyond understanding. And Operation High Jump? It wasn't just a mission. It was a warning. What makes something natural and what makes it deliberate? This question echoes through every satellite image, every radar scan, every whispered briefing about what lies beneath Antarctica's ice. Over the last 2 decades, researchers and independent observers alike have noticed something strange. Beneath the shifting glaciers of East Antarctica lie shapes that shouldn't be there. Triangular outlines, long, straight corridors, symmetrical designs, some of them hundreds of meters across. They call them ice pyramids. One of the most famous formations lies near the Ellsworth Mountains, a pyramid-like peak with 4 perfectly triangular faces, rising sharply from the ice. Mainstream geologists say it's just a Nunataka mountain peak poking through the ice, but others are not so sure. From above, it appears nearly identical in shape to the Great Pyramid of Giza. The angles, the proportion, the placement, Some have even speculated it may be aligned with ancient astronomical coordinates, just like its Egyptian cousin. Could this be coincidence? Or evidence of something buried far deeper? Remote sensing tools like LiDAR and infrared scanning have revealed even more. Patterns that resemble roadways, entrances, tunnels beneath the ice. Some of them are geometrically perfect. Too perfect. Nature doesn't do straight lines, not like this. What if we are looking at the eroded rooftops of ancient cities, or the shattered domes of long-lost facilities built in a time before recorded history? Mainstream science remains skeptical. Glacial movement, erosion, and ice flow can create strange illusions. But why then do these structures occur in clusters, sometimes miles apart yet bearing the same design? And the most unnerving part: every time a private satellite tries to scan these locations, data becomes corrupted. Connections drop. Atmospheric interference spikes almost, as if the continent itself resists being seen. Some suggest these are not structures in the traditional sense, but markers beacons, remnants of a grid system far older than any known civilization, a system that spans continents. And Antarctica may be its key. If true, then the ice is not just concealing the past. It's protecting something. Something vast, something ancient, something built with purpose. And perhaps, something still active. Long before Antarctica was officially discovered, it may have already been mapped. In 1513, the Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis compiled a map that would puzzle historians for centuries. Drawn on gazelle skin, this fragmentary world map showed the coastlines of Europe, Africa, and, curiously, a landmass at the bottom. A shape uncannily similar to the outline of modern-day Antarctica. But that's not the strange part. The landmass shown on the Piri Reis map appears to be free of ice. Mainstream scholars dismissed this as artistic license or geographical confusion. But in the 20th century, when scientists compared the map with modern seismic surveys of Antarctica's subglacial coastline, the match was startlingly accurate. How could a 16th century admiral have knowledge of a continent buried beneath miles of ice? Some historians suggest Piri Reis had access to older maps documents passed down through lost civilizations. Ancient navigators, perhaps Phoenicians or Egyptians, who themselves inherited knowledge from even older cultures, a chain of knowledge stretching back before the last ice age. And it wasn't just Piri Reis. Other cartographers, Orintius Phineas, Mercator, Boichealso, drew Antarctica with unexpected detail: mountain ranges, river systems, coastal inlets that only became known after satellite imaging in the 20th century. Each new discovery deepens the mystery. Were these maps evidence of an ancient seafaring civilization capable of exploring the globe tens of thousands of years ago? Some believe these were survivors of a global cataclysm, remnants of a forgotten world perhaps, what Plato called Atlantish, who preserved fragments of their knowledge in maps, stone, and myth. Others go further still. What if this knowledge didn't come from Earth at all? What if these maps weren't drawn by hands that knew the sea, but by beings who viewed the planet from above? Whether human or not, the implications are the same. Antarctica was not always a frozen wasteland. It was mapped, explored, known, and then forgotten. But ice does not erase memory. It only buries it. And now, as the ice melts and technology peels back the layers, the past begins to resurface. A past that suggests we are not the first global civilization. We are only the latest. In the shadowed history of exploration, there are missions that are remembered and those that are erased. Antarctica has been the site of many expeditions, scientific, military, covert. Some of these have been documented in dusty archives and declassified files. Others have vanished without a trace. There are whispered accounts of forbidden missions, expeditions never acknowledged by any government, carried out in secrecy by private contractors, shadow agencies, or unmarked aircraft. Missions that ventured deep into the no-go zones of the southern pole and returned changed, if they returned at all. One such account, known only through fragmented testimony, involves a multinational team that attempted to drill into a region known as Dome C in the 1980s. What they encountered was not just permafrost, but metallic resonance beneath the drill. Instruments failed. Electromagnetic surges spiked. Then, communication ceased. No official record of the expedition exists. But years later, a private satellite company detected localized thermal signatures in that same area, almost as if machinery was operating under the ice. Could this be evidence of a hidden base? Some researchers have pointed to images released then swiftly removed by defense mapping satellites, showing hexagonal structures embedded into glacier shelves. Others claim strange acoustic signals have been recorded near Vostok station patterns. Too rhythmic, too mechanical to be natural. It raises the question, who is building under Antarctica? Rumors swirl around the so-called New Swabia, region claimed by Nazi Germany in 1939. There are allegations of a base 211, hidden deep within the mountains, accessible only by subglacial tunnels. Mainstream historians deny its existence, but what if they were never meant to find it? Could such a base have been expanded upon, repurposed, rediscovered? Some theorists claim these hidden installations are not of human origin, that long before any flags were planted, the continent had already been claimed by something far older and far more advanced. Governments deny. Scientists deflect. Satellites fail. But still, the missions continue. Teams go silent, zones are restricted, budgets vanish into black books. Antarctica remains, untouched, yet controlled, guarded, yet empty. What are they hiding? And more importantly, what are they trying to contain? Beneath Antarctica's crushing ice, far removed from sun and air, lie lakes ancient, liquid, and untouched for millions of years. These are subglacial lakes, sealed beneath kilometers of ice, never exposed to the surface world. They defy our understanding of habitability. No sunlight, no oxygen exchange. And yet, life persists. The largest of them, Lake Vostok, lies beneath over 4 kilometers of solid ice. It's the size of Lake Ontario, and for over 15 million years, it has remained isolated from Earth's atmosphere. Scientists have long theorized that its ecosystem could resemble alien worlds, Europa, Enceladus, Titan. When Russian scientists drilled into Lake Vostok in 2012, what they found was unexpected. Strange microbes matching known DNA sequences. Extremophiles that thrived in conditions no terrestrial life should endure. Enzymes that resisted classification. Chemical reactions unexplainable by current biology. Some say what they really found was not disclosed. There are rumors of organic shapes visible under ice-penetrating radar, moving anomalies, magnetic disturbances localized directly over the lake. Even talk of bioluminescence recorded by underwater drones, though no official footage has ever been released. Then there's Lake Mercer, another subglacial body probed under a project called SALSA. When researchers reached it, instruments failed, communications glitched. Some data was never recovered. Why? Skeptics argue mechanical failure. But others suspect interference from something below. Could these lakes be sanctuaries for ancient life forms, remnants of a time before the last great freeze? Or are they incubators of something else? Perhaps these hidden lakes are not just homes to microbes, but memory. Preserved environments, untouched biospheres, designed or accidental that store more than just DNA, that hold the evolutionary secrets of an era erased from the surface. Or worse, what if they are prisons? Locked ecosystems, buried intentionally, not by chance but by design. Were these lakes sealed by nature, or by someone who knew what should remain asleep? Some legends echo across cultures so similar, they seem to share a single source. Among them, tales of sky gods, celestial teachers, and beings from the stars who descended to Earth long ago. From the Dogon of Mali to the Sumerians, the Hopi, the Maori, and beyond, stories speak of non-human intelligences who brought knowledge, structure, and warning. Some were feared, others revered, but all was said to have come from above. Could Antarctica have been one of their gateways? Theorists propose a global networker, planetary grid system of energy lines, sometimes called ley lines or telluric paths. Along these alignments lie the world's ancient wonders, the pyramids of Egypt, Stonehenge, Teotihuacan, Angkor Wat. And buried beneath the Antarctic ice, other structures may lie on that same network. High-frequency magnetic readings, observed by early satellite mapping, revealed geometric energy concentrations beneath the ice shelf. Some researchers believe these are not geological oddities, but ancient generator part of a global system that once powered or harmonized the Earth. If such a network existed, Antarctica may have been its southern anchor. In 2003, a team analyzing gravitational anomalies over Queen Maud Land recorded readings suggesting vast crystalline or metallic structure, shyly regular and buried deep. The data was never formally published. Funding was quietly withdrawn. Ancient carvings around the world depict beings with elongated heads, large eyes, strange suits, many of whom point upward to the sky. Could these be memories of visitors, or of teachers who once walked among us? Some say these entities are not gone. They are waiting, their return linked not to time, but to resonance. When the grid is reactivated, when the frequency is right. Could the melting ice, the shifting magnetosphere, the quiet awakening of Antarctica's mysteries be more than coincidence? Maybe this continent is not just frozen Earth. Maybe it is a beacon, and maybe it is about to be heard. Throughout history, there have been discoveries that vanish. Metallic objects embedded in coal, tools found in prehistoric stone layers, spheres with perfect symmetry found deep within Earth's crust. In each case, the story breaks the surface, sparks curiosity, and then disappears. Antarctica is no different. Researchers from independent expeditions have reported finding anomalous artifact subjects with unusual metallic signatures, showing no signs of corrosion, operating under extreme cold. One item was described as a sealed capsule, the size of a football, humming faintly when touched. It was confiscated. Another expedition, led by a private research institute in the 1990s, claimed to have found fragments of a lattice structure, metallic, lightweight, impossibly strong. Tests showed it contained elements unknown in the periodic table. The samples never reached their lab. The team's funding was cut. The institute disbanded. A former logistics coordinator stationed at a South Pole base told of cargo flights rerouted with no explanation. Containers marked meteorological research were loaded by armed personnel and flown to undisclosed locations. Even more troubling are the stories of people who speak out only to recant, vanish, or be discredited. Why are these discoveries hidden? What is being kept from the world? Some believe the artifacts are remnants of a pre-human civilization. Others suggest they are alien tools or technology left behind, forgotten in time. But perhaps the most chilling possibility is this. What if these objects are not broken, buried, or lost? What if they are functioning? Beacons, interfaces, devices whose purpose we no longer understand. Or worse, whose purpose is yet to be fulfilled. As more ice melts and secrets rise to the surface, the urgency grows. Scientists are warned. Drones go missing. Images are deleted from public archives within hours of upload. Antarctica is being edited, scrubbed of what doesn't fit. not to protect us from fiction, but from a truth we are not ready to face. Antarctica is more than a place. It is a vault, a boundary, a veil drawn tight across something we were never meant to see. It is the only continent with no indigenous people, no ancient temples, no ruins rising above the surface. And yet, beneath the ice, everything changes. What if this is not a coincidence, but a design? Some ancient myths speak of a polar land white and terrible, where the gods imprisoned the knowledge of the old world. The Norse called it Ultima Thule. In Hindu cosmology, it was Mount Meru, an axis linking Earth and the divine. For others, it was a place to which the wise retreated after a flood, sealing their libraries in ice. These are not isolated tales. They echo across history. As technology evolves, we peer deeper into the ice. We discover voids, warmth, movement. But every discovery raises new barriers: diplomatic, financial, digital. It is as if something is pulling back, always out of reach. Maybe Antarctica is not just the coldest place on Earth. Maybe it is the most defended. Not by armies, but by forgetfulness, bureaucracy, doubt, the erosion of interest. What if that is the true weapon? Not censorship, but silence. And yet, the continent speaks. In seismic waves, in magnetic pulses, in biological anomalies that science cannot explain. In the quiet eyes of those who return from expeditions changed older, quieter, as if they've glimpsed something not meant to be remembered. This is the continent of forgetting. Not because we have forgotten it, but because it has forgotten us. And maybe that was the point. For what sleeps beneath its ice may not want to be found. Not yet. But one day, when the ice melts, when the veil lifts, when the right frequency awakens an ancient response, we may remember what we lost, or we may wish we had left it buried.